Memories of old time began to attack me. Have you seen the pure love masterpiece Behind the Blue Eyes, released on Valentine's Day 2023? The film can be called the annual healing crying movie. The national male god Su Guanghan made a special appearance, and the film accurately poked all the pain points of long-distance relationships. That is, years of companionship are not as fresh as a moment. Where is he when you need him most? Why do even your classmates in school do better than you? In the last 20 minutes, the plot of this movie is reversed so much that it makes people feel numb, and it turns out that love is a never-ending protection. Without further ado, today we will explain in depth this youth pain movie, Behind the Blue Eyes. The story begins in the early morning of a daily day. The heroine Zhao Xinhui opened the door of the house on an ordinary morning and found a package on the ground, and after opening it, there was only a red old-fashioned tape inside, and the tape was signed by Lin Hansong. This person named Lin Hansong is her boyfriend, who has been missing for a long time. Seeing this name, she was stunned, and the memories that had been dusted for many years were instantly awakened. But there is no tape recorder at home. In order to unlock the secrets in the tape, Zhao Xinhui sought help from her neighbor's uncle and borrowed a tape recorder to use. At her uncle's house, she put the tape into a black old-fashioned tape recorder, pressed the play button, and Lin Hansong's familiar voice came from the tape. Zhao Xinhui instantly came to her mind, but she was also very angry, and she didn't know why her boyfriend was hiding from her. Xinhui did a program on the radio, and Lin Hansong said on the tape, "I often hear other people's stories in the show, and this time, I want to send our stories to the radio station to try." She broke down emotionally and angrily wanted to go to the shipping address, that is, her hometown in Taipei, to settle accounts with Lin Hansong. It happened that the uncle was a taxi driver, and the two happened to be traveling together. Then she got into her uncle's car and played the tape while driving forward. The story officially flashes back to their past when they were young. That summer, Lin Hansong and Zhao Xinhui began their story. When Zhao Xinhui came home from school and arrived at the door, she found an extra pair of unfamiliar shoes in front of the house. When she entered, the house was filled with a warm atmosphere of birthday, and her mother was busy preparing for her birthday celebration. The mother explained that the shoes at the door were Lin Hansong's, and Lin Hansong's family encountered an accident and temporarily borrowed from their house. He lived in his former grandfather's study. Zhao Xinhui was a little restrained and curious about this sudden borrower. But all day, she didn't see the boy. Zhao Xinhui held a beautiful birthday cake and walked to the door of Lin Hansong's room where he was staying. She wanted to invite him to celebrate with her. Lin Hansong politely rejected her kindness on the grounds that he did not eat sweets and asked her to bring the cake back. So far, the two have formed a beam. As she was about to leave, a voice came from the door. "I'm telling you, I don't like being forced to do things I don't want to do." She responded, "Really? I also don't like strangers living in my house." The next day at school, Zhao Xinhui got together with her best friend and secretly complained that Lin Hansong was a freak, gloomy all day long, and didn't know what he was thinking. He lives at home without showing his face, which is simply strange. She was a little curious while complaining. Maybe she was an ugly monster, maybe she was not good looking, so she avoided it. In order to give this weirdo a little color, she went to the audio store to buy a box of blank tapes. She first recorded his words, and then secretly swapped the prepared tape with his original tape. The two were cheering and applauding the brilliant plan, and the cashier immediately interrupted their conversation and asked her for change. What Zhao Xinhui didn't know was that this boy is Lin Hansong. After planning the content, taking advantage of Lin Hansong's time to work, she swapped the tape she had prepared with his original tape. She was looking forward to how Lin Hansong would react when he heard the voice in the tape. She didn't expect to bump into him on the spot when she pushed the door, and she instantly remembered that this was the cashier during the day. Zhao Xinhui hurriedly hid the tape behind her back, but was noticed by Lin Hansong and snatched it away. Lin Hansong didn't say much, just closed the door. He put the swapped tape into the tape recorder. There is no original music in the tape, it is all Zhao Xinhui's deliberately recorded chirping and playful complaints, with the girl's unique arrogance, scolding him as a freak. Listening to these noisy sounds, the corners of his mouth rose slightly unconsciously, and he only felt that this girl was noisy and cute. And Zhao Xinhui outside the door has been nervously talking to her girlfriend on the phone, and as soon as there is movement inside, she panicked. In fact, the two intersected at a very young age. In childhood, Lin Hansong and Zhao Xinhui were very good friends, flying kites together, and the two had no guesses. Later, a major change occurred in Lin Hansong's family, and the divorce of his parents hit him hard, and his mother drank alcohol every day until she lay in the hospital. Lin Hansong was also forced to suspend school for 1 year. Then he was forcibly taken away by his father. Zhao Xinhui chased the car for a long time, holding a kite tightly in her hand. She called his name as she ran, wanting to give him the kite. The car still drove away, leaving her alone in place. Her kite was not sent out. Since then, the two have lost contact. In the days of getting along day and night, Zhao Xinhui and Lin Hansong finally faded away from their initial strangeness and restraint, officially became acquainted, and unexpectedly discovered a wonderful fate. The two actually had the same birthday. Zhao Xinhui always couldn't help but complain about Lin Hansong's strange habits. He packed his things neatly and uniformly, not at all as casual and loose as boys of the same age, and she ridiculed him for being more refined than girls. What makes her even more funny is that Lin Han looks smart and tall, and he will get motion sickness on the bus. And Lin Hansong was not to be outdone, and in turn complained that Zhao Xinhui didn't look like a girl at all. She often carelessly wears her school uniform backwards, and she speaks even more straightforwardly. Her voice was crisp but a bit carefree and hearty, not half as tender as a girl. Zhao Xinhui looked righteous and immediately refuted that she had been talking to her grandmother since she was a child. Zhao Xinhui tried to teach Lin Hansong a word of Shanghainese. She taught him word by word, "I like you." Lin Hansong followed seriously. He raised his head, looked straight at Zhao Xinhui, and clearly said the sentence, "I like you." The moment the words fell, the air seemed to suddenly quiet down, and the originally noisy atmosphere instantly became ambiguous and gentle. The feelings between the two quietly sprouted in this simple Shanghainese dialect. He asked, "What, you just scolded?" She replied, "Yes, it's super vicious. Don't talk nonsense to others when you go out, be careful of being beaten." Since then, Lin Hansong has completely integrated into Zhao Xinhui's home, faded away from the initial isolation and alienation, and began to sit around the dining table with Zhao Xinhui's family to eat. The family talked and laughed, lively. They are not separated in the slightest. The warmth of this fireworks is Lin Hansong's long-lost peace of mind and warmth after his family changes. In the evening, the two sat side by side in the yard watching the fireworks, and the fireworks bloomed in the dark night sky, dazzling and dazzling, illuminating each other's faces. "You can celebrate the new year with us in the future." At that moment, he let go of all his guards and heaviness, and he hadn't felt such pure warmth and happiness for a long time, as if all the grievances and loneliness were healed by this fireworks and the girl's smile. But this warmth didn't last long. This year, Zhao Xinhui's grandmother unfortunately passed away, and sudden sadness enveloped the whole family. Zhao Xinhui faded away from her former carelessness and became silent and vulnerable. Lin Hansong has been silently by her side, without too many words, but in his own way. He looked at the fragile Zhao Xinhui in front of him, and Lin Hansong's feelings became stronger and stronger. He wanted to protect this warmth, he wanted to protect the girl who gave him redemption. The tape continued to play. The most distressed grandmother passed away, and during that time Xinhui was very low, and what I could do, it's to be by her side. I began to think of various ways to cheer up Xinhui. Lin Hansong always tried his best to pull her out of her sadness. So he took Zhao Xinhui to ride a bicycle every day, shuttled through the streets and alleys in the wind, listening to the howling wind on the beach. He wanted to blow away all his sadness. In the evening, I took her to the lively night market, played video games with her, and watched her frown and cheer to win a game. Go to the skating rink together on weekends, hold her hand and slide slowly. Even if they occasionally fall, they will smile and help each other up. As she stood side by side again and again, the smile on Zhao Xinhui's face gradually increased, and she gradually got out of the haze of losing her grandmother. Zhao Xinhui completely let go of all defenses, regarded Lin Hansong as the closest person in his life, and took the initiative to pull him into his circle of friends. She took him to play with her best friend. In those days, there was only pure happiness and peace of mind. They spent the most carefree time together, and their feelings for each other quietly fermented and gradually became stronger in getting along day after day. The two are inseparable again, going to school together every day. The air is filled with a green and heart-pounding atmosphere. The emotions in their hearts quietly changed, slowly shifting from the initial friendship to ignorant and fiery love. As the days passed, Lin Hansong also taught Zhao Xinhui to learn to ride a motorcycle. In the face of the sudden crash, they responded cautiously in the face of the police's questioning, and Lin Hansong even covered Zhao Xinhui and helped her take the blame. Taking advantage of this beauty, they quietly agreed to go to Kaohsiung to go to college together after the college entrance examination. Let's open a new future for them. Lin Hansong also deliberately teased Zhao Xinhui, pretending to be serious and saying that he regretted it and didn't want to go to Kaohsiung. But fate always inadvertently buries a sudden turn. Those agreements blurted out are not worth the sudden parting after all. As the college entrance examination approached, Lin Hansong's mother suddenly visited, sat on the sofa of Zhao Xinhui's house, and insisted on taking Lin Hansong back to her hometown. Lin Hansong missed his mother and was afraid of leaving here. His eyes were full of struggle and reluctance, but he was powerless to resist. And all this, Jia Xinhui saw in her eyes and heard in her ears, and her heart instantly felt as if she was stung by something, and dense sadness and uneasiness swept over. The day Lin Hansong left, it was the day when their school organized mock exams. Zhao Xinhui had no intention of answering the question throughout the whole process. Her mind was full of Lin Hansong's figure, and her heart was full of reluctance and unwillingness. She couldn't sit still anymore, ignored the exam rules, handed in her paper in advance, and rushed to the train station non-stop. She had only one thought in her heart: she must catch up, she must say goodbye to him. In the train station, Lin Hansong was not in a hurry to get on the train. His eyes kept looking at the entrance of the platform, full of longing for Zhao Xinhui's arrival. He recalled the agreement to go to Kaohsiung together. I will go to Kaohsiung to find you in the future. He clutched the corner of his clothes, his eyes full of anticipation and uneasiness. Even though he knew that time was running out, he couldn't help but wait a little longer, looking forward to seeing the girl again, looking forward to saying goodbye to her. But until the train whistle was about to start, he didn't see the familiar figure. The expectations under his eyes faded little by little, leaving only deep loss and regret. At the moment when the train slowly started, Zhao Xinhui finally rushed to the platform out of breath. She looked at the slowly moving train, her heart seemed to be grabbed hard, and she hurriedly ran in the direction of the train. She gasped for breath while staring at the car window, desperately looking for Lin Hansong's figure. And at this moment, Lin Hansong also happened to look out the window. He saw the girl running at a glance, with a flustered and sad face. There were no words, no shouting, and the two looked at each other through a first-floor car window. Lin Hansong slowly raised his hand and waved it vigorously towards Zhao Xinhui, his eyes full of reluctance and helplessness. The sadness of parting instantly filled the entire platform, just like the separation when I was a child, silent but heartbreaking. Lin Hansong once again bid farewell to Zhao Xinhui's life and bid farewell to this place that gave him warmth and heartbeat. The train is driving farther and farther. He gradually disappeared from sight. Zhao Xinhui still stood in place until she could no longer see the shadow of the train, and dared to choke up and say the late goodbye softly. I swear that I will do what I promised you in the future. See you soon. They once had a small agreement. Lin Hansong promised Zhao Xinhui that everything she promised her in the future would be recorded, otherwise she would be cursed. Those agreements are still in my ears, but the two are already on their separate sides. Zhao Xinhui returned home in despair. She hurriedly found the tape left by Lin Hansong, carefully put it into the tape recorder, looking forward to hearing his familiar voice, but there was nothing in the tape recorder. In fact, Lin Hansong had already recorded a paragraph, but he replaced it before leaving. Because Lin Hansong felt that if he said that paragraph, it would be equivalent to making a promise, and he did not have the courage to make any promises at that time. In this way, before the university joint entrance examination, the two did not see each other for more than half a year, only relying on letters. Back to reality. She pauses the recording. Now Zhao Xinhui and her uncle came to their home in Taipei, and as soon as they entered the door, Zhao Xinhui was anxious to find Lin Hansong, and her father accompanied her mother to another ancestral house, which is currently empty. If you are careful, you will find that Zhao Xinhui shouted to find Lin Hansong. The refrigerator door she opened was not closed, which was not her habit, and it was a foreshadowing. While looking for Lin Hansong's traces, Zhao Xinhui accidentally found a tape in the mezzanine of the bookcase, which seemed to have been left by Lin Hansong when he parted at the train station. She didn't care. Zhao Xinhui was determined not to look for it, and complained that Lin Hansong had been lying to herself. The uncle was afraid that Zhao Xinhui would forget to take it, or he might not be able to make up his mind, so he took the initiative to help her take the tape, and then she knew what Lin Hansong really wanted to say when she parted. Xinhui, I want to tell you, I like you. This late truth instantly broke Zhao Xinhui's psychological defense. After listening to the recording, Zhao Xinhui no longer hesitated, and immediately decided to give Lin Hansong another chance. She wanted to find the disappeared person in person and ask about all the misunderstandings. In this way, an old and a young embarked on a journey of finding love across Taiwan again. The journey was long, and the two began to chat, from the scenery along the way to the past of their youth, and the distance slowly narrowed. When resting or chatting on the way, the uncle took the initiative to talk about his wife. She has a very gentle, quiet and understanding personality, and the relationship between the two has always been very good. Listening to the uncle's gentle memories of his wife, Zhao Xinhui was deeply moved, and began to recall her past in her mind again. I survived the tension of the college entrance examination and the longing of a short separation. On the day the college entrance examination results were released, Zhao Xinhui specially dressed up carefully, shed her former school uniform and childishness, changed into beautiful clothes, and put on high heels for the first time, learning to go to the appointment with Lin Hansong as an adult. But she didn't have time to adapt to the height of her high heels, and as soon as she walked, she slipped and fell to the ground, embarrassed and shy. Lin Hansong, who was not far away, saw the scene and hurriedly stepped forward, his eyes full of distress, but he couldn't help but curl the corners of his mouth. He took her in the direction of home, intending to help her wipe her sprained ankle. Lin Hansong couldn't hold back after all, and the smile on the corner of his mouth couldn't be hidden. When he arrived at the door of the house, Lin Hansong bent down to pick up Zhao Xinhui without saying a word, and stepped up the stairs step by step, moving gently and steadily. After entering the room, Lin Hansong carefully put her down and gently wiped her sprained ankle, his movements so soft that he was afraid of hurting her. The originally carefully prepared love plan was completely disrupted at this moment, and all the tension and deliberateness turned into a throbbing in the heart. He looked at Zhao Xinhui's depressed appearance. Lin Hansong didn't want to ruin her interest, so he temporarily decided to change the original meeting to a day trip to the Lin family, to accompany her to relax, and to cook for Zhao Xinhui with his heart. The sound of pots and pans colliding came from the kitchen. Zhao Xinhui secretly glanced at his busy figure from the side. Her eyes were full of joy, and an indescribable warmth welled up in her heart, which was cherished and taken to heart. Zhao Xinhui took her girlfriend to drink milk tea together to relieve the tension and excitement of the past few days. Her best friend looked at her with a smile on her face that she couldn't hide, and couldn't help but laugh and ridicule her and Lin Hansong for being more than just friends. In the face of her girlfriend's ridicule, Zhao Xinhui's cheeks turned red, and she quickly retorted shyly, saying no, but her eyes unconsciously dodged. Her unconcealable heartbeat has long been exposed. Just when the two were ordering milk tea, a gentle and considerate figure appeared beside Zhao Xinhui. Your voice is very nice. Are you interested in joining the broadcasting agency? Broadcasting agency? What does it do? Basically, the school's radio programs are produced by us. My name is Chen Xiaoming, and I am the president of the broadcasting agency. He is Chen Xiaoming, the president of the broadcasting agency. Chen Xiaoming happened to come to buy milk tea, and overheard the conversation between Zhao Xinhui and her girlfriend, and was attracted by her crisp and hearty voice. He couldn't help but step forward to talk. His tone was gentle and polite, and he specially sent out an invitation, hoping that Zhao Xinhui could join the broadcasting agency, saying that her voice was very suitable for broadcasting. And this sudden invitation also laid a new wave for the relationship between her and Lin Hansong. With curiosity and expectation for the broadcasting agency, Zhao Xinhui agreed to Chen Xiaoming's invitation and followed this gentle and elegant senior to the broadcasting agency. Chen Xiaoming patiently and carefully explained to her the environment of the broadcasting agency, the use of various instruments, and the gentle tone. His patient attitude made Zhao Xinhui gradually let go of his restraint. The recording and broadcasting equipment in the radio room is full of freshness for Zhao Xinhui. Under Chen Xiaoming's careful guidance, Zhao Xinhui quickly became familiar with the work of the broadcasting agency and officially joined the broadcasting agency. Although the two were in different places at that time, the distance did not dilute each other's friendship. Lin Hansong suffered severe motion sickness, and as soon as he got in the car, he would feel unwell and vomit. But even so, as long as he has free time, he will not hesitate to buy a ticket and take a bus to Kaohsiung. He just wanted to see Zhao Xinhui. And Zhao Xinhui will always come to the station in advance, waiting quietly for his arrival. In this way, they rushed across distances, accompanied silently again and again, met frequently, and their relationship warmed up steadily. Although they have never clearly confessed, both sides have already clearly identified each other in their hearts. When shopping once, Zhao Xinhui accidentally fell in love with a pair of small and exquisite rings. She looked at the price and was sure that it was not cheap, and the two began to laugh and play again. You say a word and I say a word, and the atmosphere is relaxed and sweet. At that time, they only cared about enjoying the joy of the moment, but they didn't know that a quietly brewing problem was slowly approaching. Soon Valentine's Day came as scheduled, and Zhao Xinhui dressed up happily. She came to the train station early, waiting eagerly for Lin Hansong, looking forward to this date exclusively for them. On the other hand, Lin Hansong also set off from home with joy, eager to rush to her. But he had just taken a few steps. He heard his mother's weak and painful voice. At that moment, he stiffened, and it turned out that his mother's condition did not improve, but worsened day by day, and it had already exceeded his expectations. Lin Hansong was in a dilemma, and finally he could only stop running to his lover. He turned around and returned home to take good care of his mother. Zhao Xinhui waited from sunrise to sunset, from full of anticipation to full of loss, and never waited for that familiar figure. And Lin Hansong took good care of his mother until late at night. After watching his mother fall asleep, he finally made time and hurriedly called Zhao Xinhui. But by mistake, Zhao Xinhui did not receive this call, carrying guilt and longing, and the misunderstanding was buried. The next day, Zhao Xinhui was still haunted by yesterday's loss. She was depressed and couldn't lift her energy. Her friends came over to talk to her, and she was also distracted and absent-minded, her mind full of pictures of waiting for Lin Hansong yesterday. At this moment, Chen Xiaoming walked in with a few drinks. He smiled and said that he wanted to reward everyone for their hard work these days. He distributed the drinks to his partners one by one, and when it was Zhao Xinhui's turn, he quietly took out a cup of milk tea with the most bubbles from the bag and gently handed it to her, with an imperceptible tenderness and preference hidden in his eyes. The partner on the side immediately smiled and complained about the president's partiality, and a sentence broke the calm, and the scene instantly became a little embarrassing, and Zhao Xinhui was a little overwhelmed. These days, Zhao Xinhui's best friend has already seen Chen Xiaoming's thoughts. He clearly liked Zhao Xinhui. He wanted to pursue it, but he never expressed it directly. Just when Zhao Xinhui was still sullen about the misunderstanding on Valentine's Day, she received a document from Lin Hansong's computer that contained a game animation made by Lin Hansong. The picture is full of love. She looked at this thoughtful gift, and the grievances and doubts in Zhao Xinhui's heart disappeared in an instant, and a long-lost smile appeared on her face again. This way of apology is quite chic. The friendship of good friends is really touching. All her unhappiness was quietly resolved in this gentle apology. Previously, Lin Hansong frequently bought tickets to meet Zhao Xinhui, and often met with the conductor at the station, and the conductor had a strong interest in him. On this day, the conductor's lady specially found him in the milk tea shop where Lin Hansong worked. He generously and directly confessed to him, saying that he wanted to be his girlfriend. Lin Hansong was suddenly embarrassed and at a loss, and was about to politely refuse, but Zhao Xinhui suddenly appeared at the door. She walked straight over, making it clear that she was here to declare sovereignty. Lin Hansong hadn't reacted yet, and looked at her suddenly with a surprised face. The conductor was not convinced and said that they could compete fairly. Zhao Xinhui did not hesitate at all after hearing this. She raised her head and kissed Lin Hansong. Lin Hansong's whole person froze instantly, completely shocked, his brain went blank, and he was completely at a loss. At the end of the kiss, Zhao Xinhui's face was flushed with shame. She turned around and ran away shyly. Lin Hansong came back to his senses and immediately chased out in a panic. Ran all the way, Zhao Xinhui was angry and aggrieved, and played a small temper at him. This was her first kiss, and it was still in public. But Lin Hansong didn't even have a formal confession. The more she thought about it, the more aggrieved she became, and she couldn't help but blush, feeling that she was too proactive. Lin Hansong watched her cry, his heart tightened, and he immediately stretched out his hand and held her tightly, patiently coaxing the girl who had a bad temper. When she calmed down a little, he looked into her eyes and officially confessed to her for the first time with great seriousness, "Is it okay to be my girlfriend?" After saying that, he kissed her gently, and the relationship between the two was finally officially determined at this moment. Xinhui said that she felt that Hsinchu to Kaohsiung had become farther away. When we can't see each other, we chat online, and when we meet, time always flies super fast. As soon as I said goodbye, I started looking forward to the next meeting. After the two established their relationship, the days were full of youthful sweetness. Lin Hansong accidentally mentioned to Zhao Xinhui a place Alishan Shaoyue residence, which is said to have been built by an old man to wait for his long-lost wife. Lin Hansong said with longing in his eyes, proposing to take her to Alishan on his graduation trip. But Zhao Xinhui, who is curious and eager by nature, can't help but act coquettishly, and wants to go this year, not waiting until graduation. Hearing this, Lin Hansong looked embarrassed and softly admitted that he had no money now and could not take her immediately. Zhao Xinhui immediately proposed to ask her parents for money, but Lin Hansong resolutely refused. He didn't want to spend Zhao Xinhui's parents' money, didn't want to make himself look humble, and didn't want to rely on others to fulfill his promise to her. The two each held their own opinions, and the dispute did not come to an end. The originally sweet atmosphere instantly became stiff and eventually broke up. After the separation, Zhao Xinhui's heart was full of distress. She felt that Lin Hansong was too stubborn and refused to accept a little help. In a moment of anger, she swore a poisonous oath and decided not to take the initiative to contact Lin Hansong. But a day or two passed, and Lin Hansong never took the initiative to contact her. Zhao Xinhui's gambling anger gradually turned into longing, and the grievances in her heart were slowly replaced by concerns. She wanted to call Lin Hansong, but was ridiculed and stopped by her girlfriends. Zhao Xinhui had no choice but to suppress the thoughts in her heart and continue to hold on. After a few more days, Zhao Xinhui still couldn't hold back after all, dressed up carefully, and rushed to Kaohsiung Station early, looking forward to waiting for Lin Hansong. But she waited from sunrise to sunset and stood for a whole day. She never saw the familiar figure. The more Zhao Xinhui thought about it, the more angry she became, and after returning to the dormitory, she said to her girlfriends that she would never pay attention to Lin Hansong again. But as soon as the words fell, Lin Hansong's call came, and all her anger disappeared instantly. She rushed over in surprise to pick up the phone. On the other end of the phone, Lin Hansong's voice was a little tired, and he gently explained that something happened at home, delayed contact, and failed to see her. The resentment in her heart instantly dissipated. She didn't pursue right or wrong, but whispered to him to take care of herself. But what she didn't know was that Lin Hansong was not at home at the moment, but in the hospital, and his mother's condition had worsened and she had been hospitalized, and he just didn't want her to worry, so he deliberately lied. Lin Hansong also told her that she had changed jobs and might be busier in the future. No way, after all, you have to support your family. She asked, what if one day, you lose me too? I'll get you back. She asked again, what should I do if I can't find it? No matter how far you fly, we'll get you back. Hearing this, Zhao Xinhui's heart was full of helplessness and grievances. She suppressed the longing in her heart and begged Lin Hansong to let him come to Kaohsiung, saying that she really missed him. But Lin Hansong used too many things to do and couldn't get away. He tactfully rejected her. His refusal made Zhao Xinhui feel a hint of suspicion in her heart, vaguely feeling that he was hiding something from herself, but there was no evidence, so she could only quietly hide the uneasiness and grievances in her heart. Zhao Xinhui was full of worry, and after all, she couldn't rest assured that Lin Hansong. She decided to go to him in person and figure out what was really going on. But before she could set off, she frequently received bouquets of exquisite flowers. It turned out that it was carefully arranged by Senior Chen Xiaoming, and he wanted to publicly confess to her. Zhao Xinhui, I like you. You don't need to give me an answer now, I can wait. He also said that if she agreed, they would meet at night on the landscape bridge. Zhao Xinhui only had Lin Hansong in her heart, and she didn't want to hurt the gentle Chen Xiaoming at all, so she had to tactfully agree to meet at night. She planned to take this opportunity to make it clear to Chen Xiaoming and completely dispel his thoughts. In the evening, Zhao Xinhui first called Lin Hansong, wanting to tell him that he was going to see Chen Xiaoming, but the phone was called over and over again. No one answered. In desperation, Zhao Xinhui had to go to the appointment on time and come to the landscape bridge. After seeing Chen Xiaoming, she did not hesitate at all and rejected his confession straight to the point. Said she already had a boyfriend. Actually, he guessed it, but if he didn't do anything, wouldn't he have no chance at all? Chen Xiaoming's face was full of loss, but he still didn't give up, admitting that he had paid a lot for her, just wanted to ask for a chance, and said that he could wait for her forever. She looked at Chen Xiaoming's gentle and persistent appearance. Zhao Xinhui was full of guilt, and she didn't know how to refuse so cruelly, so she could only turn around and run away in a panic. In a panic, Zhao Xinhui accidentally twisted her foot while going down the stairs. The next day she could only travel with crutches, looking very embarrassed. Fortunately, Chen Xiaoming has always been by her side, taking care of her carefully, helping her up and down the stairs, gentle and considerate. Zhao Xinhui looked at his dedication and felt more and more guilty. To avoid unnecessary misunderstanding, she once again took the initiative to explain to Chen Xiaoming that she already had a boyfriend and hoped that he could let go. But Chen Xiaoming sighed and said that her boyfriend was very irresponsible. She has a boyfriend, what about others? Why didn't you see him? If he really took you seriously, then there would be no chance for him to perform. This moment poked the softest and most aggrieved place in Zhao Xinhui's heart. Her eyes were full of tears, full of grievances and helplessness, but she didn't know who to tell to. When she was sick with a foot injury, the person she most wanted to accompany her never showed up. The most abrasive thing in love is never a quarrel, but an absence when needed. Again and again, suspicion will take advantage of the situation. During that time, the recording continued. In order to pay for my mother's medical expenses, I could only take a leave of absence from school to work, and I was immersed in hard work every day. I thought I could carry it myself, thinking that I could not worry Xinhui, but I ignored her feelings. If there is no interaction, maybe time and distance, it will make her gradually forget me. During those days, Lin Hansong had only one thought in his heart, that is, to make money desperately, give Zhao Xinhui a better life, shorten the distance between the two, and fulfill all the promises he had made. But he was too obsessed with giving her the best, but he ignored it. What Zhao Xinhui really wants is companionship and honesty, and inadvertently ignores her feelings, which gradually deepens the gap between the two. And Zhao Xinhui gradually got used to life without Lin Hansong's frequent company in the waiting and alienation day after day. Both of them are silently enduring and trying to convince themselves to believe in each other, but this careful persistence not only brings each other closer, but pushes each other further and further away because of the lack of communication and companionship. Lin Hansong worked hard at the bottom, and Zhao Xinhui slowly grew up on the radio. The life trajectories of the two gradually deviated, and the gap became wider and wider. Finally, Lin Hansong saved enough money, and he bought a gift with joy, intending to take advantage of Zhao Xinhui's birthday to give her a big surprise. Sitting on the bus to Kaohsiung, he kept smiling on the corner of his mouth. He thought that he would finally be able to spend her birthday with her and make up for the debt of these days. At that time, Zhao Xinhui was already interning at the radio station, responsible for planning programs, and faded away from the childishness of the past. In the evening, she hurriedly packed her things, her heart full of anticipation. She just wanted to hurry to the agreed place and see Lin Han-song, whom she hadn't seen for a long time. But as soon as she walked out of the radio gate, she was stopped by Chen Xiaoming and her friends. It turned out that Chen Xiaoming and her girlfriend had already prepared a birthday surprise for her, and set up cakes and balloons. He waited for her with tender eyes in his eyes. On the other side, Lin Han-song carried a bouquet of flowers and rushed to Zhao Xinhui's place with joy, but the sky was suddenly filled with dark clouds and it rained heavily. He couldn't get a taxi at all, in order not to let the flowers in his arms get wet from the rain. He held the flower tightly in his arms and ran all the way to his destination in the heavy rain. On the radio side, Zhao Xinhui was restless and had no intention of eating cake at all. Taking advantage of everyone's inattention, she hurriedly said goodbye to her girlfriends and partners, just wanting to find Lin Han-song quickly. This scene was seen by the delicate-minded Chen Xiaoming, and a trace of loss flashed in his eyes, but he immediately chased out. Zhao Xinhui ran to the door and was blocked by the pouring rain. At this moment, Chen Xiaoming chased after him, and he didn't say a word. He put his coat on Zhao Xinhui, whispered to her not to catch a cold, and offered to take her home. Zhao Xinhui was full of guilt and politely rejected Chen Xiaoming's kindness. She just wanted to see Lin Han-song as soon as possible. But Chen Xiaoming did not give up. He had already planned to express his feelings to Zhao Xinhui again on this day. He took out a delicate small box from his pocket, opened it and found a small ring inside, and gently handed it to Zhao Xinhui, his eyes full of persistence and anticipation. "You see, this should be your size." Heart wisdom. At this embarrassing intense moment, the embarrassed Lin Han-song finally arrived. He was soaked and his hair was on his forehead, but when he saw the scene in front of him, Chen Xiaoming looked at Zhao Xinhui gently with a ring, all the expectation and joy instantly replaced by anger and jealousy. Chen Xiaoming said, "I always thought you were fictionalized by Xinhui." Even though Zhao Xinhui's boyfriend had appeared, Chen Xiaoming still did not flinch. He insisted that Zhao Xinhui accept the ring, and his tone was full of unwillingness. Lin Han-song was even more furious when he saw this. He took a step forward and directly accepted the ring for Zhao Xinhui. His tone was cold and with a strong hostility. After Chen Xiaoming left, only Lin Han-song, who was soaked, and Zhao Xinhui, who was full of grievances, were left at the scene. The heavy rain is still pouring. The atmosphere between the two was colder than rain. Zhao Xinhui looked at Lin Han-song, suppressed the grievances in her heart, and whispered to him for the birthday gift she had prepared, "Don't tell me that you are not prepared." She thought it was an accident. Misunderstandings can be resolved by a surprise. But at this time, Lin Han-song was still immersed in anger and inferiority. He looked at Zhao Xinhui, his tone was full of ridicule and doubts, thinking that her relationship with Chen Xiaoming had long been very close. She deliberately said, "He's been very good to me. More like a boyfriend than your boyfriend. Unlike you, you don't care about me at all." Lin Han-song asked, "Don't care about you? Then why should I rush over and be a superfluous person?" She said, "What's the use of you coming over now? Where were you when I was sick and hurt? Where are you when I need you the most? Why do even your classmates in school do better than you? If you feel better with him, I can disappear. Okay, you go." The long-term long-distance relationship has long exhausted the sense of security of the two, and the two completely broke up in the pouring rain. At parting, Lin Han-song handed the box of ring gifts to her, and then turned to leave. The two are not in love, but the distance brought by the distance. The difference in their pace of life and the heavy pressure they face make communication difficult, and eventually at the peak of their emotions, they express their pain in a hurtful way. After returning to the dormitory, she couldn't hold back anymore and cried alone. All her grievances, unwillingness and sadness completely exploded at this moment. Seeing this, her best friend hurriedly stepped forward, hugged her tightly, and comforted her softly, trying to relieve her pain. No one knows that Zhao Xinhui is also silently saving money these days, saving money just to buy one for Lin Han-song. She herself was reluctant to buy a mobile phone. It was a surprise she had prepared for a long time, and it was also the love she hid in her heart. Anger and grievances were overwhelmed. She picked up her mobile phone and slammed it to the ground in a fit of anger to vent. But her best friend reminded her of the price of her mobile phone in time. Her hand instantly paused in the air, and the anger in her eyes was gradually replaced by reluctance. In desperation, she could only pick up the ring given by Chen Xiaoming and vent to the ring wantonly to relieve the pain and unwillingness in her heart. But at the moment when she vented, she suddenly found that something was wrong. This ring turned out to be the one she took a fancy to at a glance when the two were shopping together, and Lin Han-song complained that it was too expensive, but she silently remembered it in her heart. It turned out that the moment he turned around and left, he secretly gave Chen Xiaoming the ring he changed to the one she liked. She couldn't help but think back to the scene of the quarrel just now. In this relationship full of misunderstandings and pulls, Lin Hansong never left. Tears welled up in my eyes without warning, blurring my vision. She finally understood that in a place she couldn't see, Lin Hansong had never perfunctory her heart. On the other side, Lin Hansong rushed back to the hospital lonely and sadly. The heavy rain soaked his body and extinguished all his joy and expectation. He had not yet recovered from the pain of the breakup with Zhao Xinhui, and a heavier blow followed. His mother did not survive the illness after all and left him forever. This night was the darkest night of Lin Hansong's life. The two important people he cared about and wanted to protect the most in his life seemed to have gone away overnight. All the grief and despair, it was all on his shoulders, but he didn't confide, he just chose to endure all this silently, swallowing all the pain into his heart, and letting the pain reach its peak. Time flies, and in the blink of an eye, the day of Zhao Xinhui's graduation has arrived. Her mother came to attend her graduation ceremony and inadvertently mentioned Lin Hansong's recent situation during the chat. Zhao Xinhui was shocked when she learned the news of Lin's mother's death. Just last month, on their birthday, she was instantly swept away by endless self-blame and remorse, and she finally understood that Lin Hansong's coldness in those days was not that he did not love, but that he was alone in the pain of his mother's serious illness, but he still had to desperately make money to give her a better life. She never thought that Lin Hansong had endured so much pain that she didn't know during those days, and she was still complaining about him. After his mother's death, Lin Hansong took his mother's ashes back to his hometown in Xiamen, and the two completely cut off contact. Lin Hansong, who returned to Xiamen, found a job. He was desperately immersed in his work, trying to paralyze himself with busyness, wanting to completely forget everything in the past, forget those joys and pains, and forget Zhao Xinhui's appearance. But he gradually discovered that it was much more difficult to forget than to remember. The more he wanted to deliberately forget, the clearer Zhao Xinhui's shadow became. He asked himself what to do. Zhao Xinhui turned off the tape recorder. She was depressed, and her self-blame and remorse overwhelmed her. She didn't dare to continue listening, for fear that she would hear Lin Hansong's words about breaking up with her in the next second. With a hint of luck and full of concern, she and her uncle came to the place where Lin Hansong used to live, but they were empty again. Just when she was full of loss, her eyes inadvertently swept to the box in the corner, and when she opened it, it was full of old tickets to Kaohsiung. One after another, the yellow ticket stubs were printed with different dates, which were traces of Lin Hansong running to her across distances, and each ticket carried the memories of their youthful youth. The uncle has been silently paying attention to the figures around him. He saw a pair of men and women walking side by side on the side of the road, and the boy's back was very similar to Lin Hansong. He immediately informed Zhao Xinhui. After Zhao Xinhui heard this, her heart tightened instantly, and she looked in the direction pointed by her uncle, and the familiar back made her eyes instantly red. She desperately shouted Lin Hansong's name loudly, but it was still a step too late, and the man and woman gradually walked away, leaving only a leaflet on the ground to guard the moon. That was the place where the two agreed to go together on the graduation trip. This is also an agreement between the two that they will have time to fulfill in the future. This leaflet became Zhao Xinhui's last sustenance. On the way, the uncle looked at the despondent Zhao Xinhui, comforted her softly, and gave her the strength to continue searching. The car was refueled on the way. Zhao Xinhui stood by the gas station, looking at the environment here, and the picture of the past appeared in her mind again. In those years, in order to make money and give her a better life, Lin Hansong worked many jobs, busy in milk tea shops, running around car washes, and working as gas station employees. He worked hard during the day and rushed back to the hospital at night to take care of his seriously ill mother. In those days, how difficult he was, but he never said a word of bitterness to her. Zhao Xinhui was full of emotion. It turned out that happiness was never a vigorous oath. Happiness is a person who silently bears all the hard work for you, but never lets you find out. He cared about Zhao Xinhui, so he didn't tell her. After sighing, she packed up her mood and set off again, with her destination being to guard the moon residence. On the way, she turned on the tape recorder again, pressed the play button, and Lin Hansong's familiar voice slowly came. I decided to send the tape, Xinhui. What kind of ending should our story have? I would like to hear your answer. I'll wait until 6 o'clock, see you in Alishan. And the last place he mentioned happened to be Alishan's moon guard, as if it was the guidance of fate, guiding her to the place where their agreement and affection were hidden. The car drove all the way, slowly driving into Alishan. The scenery was vast and healing. The greenery of the mountains seems to heal all the pain. They had agreed on this road for many years, and now she has finally set foot on this land alone. On the way to climb the mountain, the uncle almost fell because of an old leg injury. Zhao Xinhui saw this and persuaded him to go back to rest with worry. She just had to find the rest of the way on her own. But the uncle insisted on following, and he couldn't rest assured that Zhao Xinhui was alone. The two continued to move forward, and just when they were about to arrive at Shoyue residence, they suddenly saw a familiar figure, and Zhao Xinhui's heart instantly beat wildly. All her emotions came to her heart. Regardless of her fatigue, she immediately ran towards the figure, watching him walk into the wooden house of Shoyue step by step, and her footsteps never stopped. The uncle was exhausted and could only rest in place. Zhao Xinhui couldn't wait to push open the door of the wooden house, and after looking around, she finally saw Lin Hansong, who lived in seclusion here and made a living by taking care of the mountains and forests. I found you. I haven't seen him for many years, and there is still a loneliness hidden between his eyebrows and eyes. The picture of the long-awaited reunion was very impactful, and the two looked at each other from a distance, with thousands of words blocked in their throats. Just as the two were immersed in the emotions of reunion, an earthquake suddenly occurred in Alishan, and the collapsed roof hit Zhao Xinhui. Lin Hansong fought hard to protect her, but he was pressed down. This scene pushed the pain of youth to its peak, and Lin Hansong almost instinctively pushed Zhao Xinhui away. Zhao Xinhui was pushed to a safe corner and was not pressed, but she was frightened and covered in injuries. Lin Hansong endured the severe pain, but was still comforting her. He himself was hit in the back by a thick wooden beam, and the whole person was crushed under the rubble, unable to move. We won't quarrel in the future, okay? Okay. Lin Hansong slowly stretched out his hand and gently took Zhao Xinhui's hand, with a bit of cautious tenderness, wanting to appease all her grievances and self-blame. Zhao Xinhui lowered her head, her eyes fell on the hands of the two of them. Instantly stunned. Lin Hansong's ring finger wears a ring exactly the same as the one on her hand. Longing, remorse and rejoicing completely exploded at this moment. Are you proposing? Otherwise? But the warmth of this reunion only lasted for a moment. Zhao Xinhui couldn't control it anymore, broke down and cried, desperately trying to move the wood to save him. In the earthquake just now, a thick piece of wood slammed down and hit Lin Hansong's leg. His leg was pressed down and he couldn't move. His eyes were full of pain and unwillingness, but he still looked at Zhao Xinhui with difficulty and asked her to go out and call for help first. Zhao Xinhui knew that if they delayed, both of them would be buried in the wooden house. She gritted her teeth and had to climb out by herself first to call for help. Remember to call people with your big voice. She tried her best to climb out of the shaking wooden house, but just a few steps away, there was a sudden loud noise behind her, and the entire wooden house completely collapsed. No! Sawdust and dust flew all over the sky, instantly burying the traces of the wooden house. Zhao Xinhui stiffened, turned around suddenly, looked at the ruins in front of her, and was instantly dumbfounded. Her heart seemed to be hollowed out, and the heart-wrenching sadness swept over her, making her almost breathless. She knew that Lin Hansong was still pressed under the stake, but the ruins in front of her made her see no hope. Zhao Xinhui was heartbroken, shouting Lin Hansong's name in pain, while frantically moving the scattered wooden boards with both hands. The blood stained red the sawdust, and her throat shouted hoarsely. The uncle not far away saw this. He hurriedly stepped forward, hugged Zhao Xinhui, who had collapsed out of control, pulled her aside, held her tightly, and comforted her softly. At this moment, a car slowly came and stopped behind them. Zhao Xinhui turned her head subconsciously. The glass of the car window reflected her face, but that face was no longer her familiar appearance, which instantly made her fall into confusion and shock. All sadness was replaced by sudden doubts at this moment, and a long-hidden reversal quietly unveiled. At that moment, all the memory fragments exploded. I'm your next-door neighbor, I want to listen to this tape, can I borrow your tape recorder to use it? Of course. It turned out that the uncle who had been by her side, gently comforted her, and accompanied her to find Lin Hansong. He was not a neighbor at all, but a husband who had been with her for the rest of her life. The collapse of the wooden house just now is just a fragment of memory left over from her after being swallowed up by Alzheimer's disease, an illusory replay of parting and reunion. The truth was slowly revealed, and the wooden house that guarded the moon collapsed. Zhao Xinhui tried her best to climb out and call for rescue, and Lin Hansong was successfully rescued. Although he was seriously injured in the leg, he saved his life. When the rescue arrived, Zhao Xinhui rushed over desperately and hugged Lin Hansong affectionately. Those forgotten pasts, misunderstood times, all emerge at that moment. She finally remembered everything, the person who guarded her life in a clumsy way. She subconsciously looked at the hand of the uncle beside her, and the familiar ring on her finger was still firmly worn and never taken off. That is the most eternal testimony of their love. Later, the two successfully got married and entered the palace of marriage, and their former good friends came to bless them, witnessing the happy moment when they overcame their pain and finally came together. Soon after, Zhao Xinhui became pregnant with a child. Lin Hansong experienced the joy of being a father for the first time, became clumsy, and carefully took care of her. In the end, they welcomed a naughty and cute son, and the family of 3 lived a plain and happy life. The regrets and pains of those youths, everything is slowly smoothed out by the tenderness of the years. Time flies, and their son gradually grows up, but fate has dealt them a heavy blow again. Zhao Xinhui accidentally suffered from Alzheimer's disease, and at first she only occasionally forgot to turn off the fire and close the door. It was like a foreshadowing that she had accidentally forgotten to close the door. In the face of his wife's condition, Lin Hansong never had a trace of complaint, never gave up, and stayed by her side day and night. The longer time passed, the more serious Zhao Xinhui's condition became, and the faster her memory declined. Lin Hansong looked at his wife, who was once vivid and bright, but now chaotic and confused, and his heart was full of sadness and distress. Countless late nights, he hid alone in the corner and secretly cried. In order not to let Zhao Xinhui completely forget the past, Lin Hansong often took out the tapes of that year, play it to her over and over again, trying to awaken her sleeping memories with familiar sounds. But after all, time still failed to retain her memory, and one day she completely forgot Lin Hansong in front of her, and the memory stayed in her youth. When she met and fell in love with Lin Hansong, she would even mistakenly recognize her grown son as the young boy Lin Hansong. Looking at his wife's ignorant and unfamiliar eyes, Lin Hansong's heart seemed to be in pain, but he couldn't do anything. He thought about it. He finally came up with a solution. He decided to leave his wife temporarily and move next door, silently guarding her as a neighbor's uncle. He secretly wrote letters every day and placed them at the door of Zhao Xinhui's house. He disguised himself as a taxi driver, met her every day, and talked to her. He accompanied her to find Lin Hansong. Obviously close at hand, but you have to pretend not to know each other. The injury to his leg while climbing the mountain was caused by the earthquake. This sadness is the last tenderness he gives to his lover. Those guidelines, Zhao Xinhui's clues to find Lin Hansong, were all carefully arranged by Lin Hansong and his son. They wanted to use this method to awaken Zhao Xinhui's memory little by little. Back at this moment, Zhao Xinhui looked at the uncle who gently comforted her beside her, and all the memory fragments were finally put together. She finally recognized the uncle in front of her, who was full of tenderness and had hidden affection in her eyes, but she had forgotten countless times. Lin Hansong is engraved deep in her heart. I finally found you. No matter how far you fly, I will pull you back. What if I fly too far and the line breaks? If the thread breaks, no matter how far you fly, it will find you back. The red thread you tied to me will never break for the rest of my life. She collapsed and threw herself into Lin Hansong's arms, hugging him tightly like she did when she was young, tears sliding down silently. Lin Hansong gently hugged her back. His movements were so gentle that he seemed to be caring for a rare treasure. His decades of affection were swallowed up by Alzheimer's disease. He endured the pain of his lover forgetting himself alone. Even if one day the thread between the two of us really breaks, you must pull me back, okay? Thank you, Watsong, I love you. Although our story does not have the perfect ending, how lucky I am to find you, Watsong, in this life. Unfortunately, Zhao Xinhui's symptoms have not completely disappeared, and she may forget again, and she may still recognize Lin Hansong as a stranger. But Lin Hansong never intended to give up. He would always stay by her side. He reawakened her memory over and over again in his own way. Even if he has to endure endless sadness, he will always guard this love that spans the years until the end of his life. After watching this movie, we gained a lot. This is a moving love story, and it is also a feeling about love and growth. Just like Han Chong spent his life guarding Xinhui, each of us is looking for the person worthy of our lifelong protection, and we are hiding those sorrows that cannot be shed. Use love as armor and bravely face all the hardships of life. Thank you.